Welcome everyone. It's a bright sunny day here in SUGO, and what a good day to host another race here at Sportsland SUGO. Today we're not going to be racing the Splash Party KartX at SUGO Daybreak Edition because that has already been settled. Instead, change that Daybreak to Nightfall because we are now racing the Nightfall edition of the Splash Party KartX at SUGO. It's Sunday and we're racing with 36 cars. And speaking of Sportsland SUGO, let's take a look into the track map. 3.7 kilometers of racetrack with 15 corners in total. We're looking at 100 kilometers of racing here for a total of 27 laps as we did yesterday. Just like today, we're going to be racing here at Murata Miyagi. It's a special exhibition race where we're not going to be racing the Hololive GT3 cars or the Formula Hololive cars. And we're actually just going to be using the crosscarts. So, yeah, something like that, because it's a special event, so it will all have something to share about. It coincides with Hololive Summer 2023. It specifically was actually coinciding with the Splash Party Live. Day 1 has already been concluded earlier today, and now this race is to coincide with Day 2 of the performances. Hopefully everyone still has that 5,500 yen to spend, if you have any, to watch the girls perform live in summer uniforms. We've seen 38 entries in Saturday, and now we're looking to have 36 entries on Sunday. So anyways, let's give you everyone here a bit of a showcase on the current driver that will be racing here. We have Jeff Clark racing for Nakakiri Ayame, one of the 36 entrants. He is going to be racing only today on Sunday. We have Mutri Farakama, who's going to be racing again for Pavulia Reine today. Sarah's Fauna, driven by Nasir Daham. And then we have Sean Pauling in the Inugami Coronet number 56, alongside Cal Gibbons in the number 64 Roboco car. Michael Turner races for Shirogane Noel in the number 08 crosscart, which is a nice sight to see. Of course, Mohamed Reza is still here in the pit lane for him and Mori Luna. He's not doing anything at the moment. And then we have Bon Ishikawa III for Oro Crony. Let's see if we can bring something from the cronies. Mo Shakif Reza, Shazrin's younger brother, is racing for Momosa Zunene. Let's also not forget Richie Ra, who's still stuck here since the start of this practice session. He races for Shirakawa Fubuki. We have Hosho Marine, represented by Lorenzo Ricci. It is also reported that this is his last appearance in the Hosho Marine ride before he moves over to Watson Emilia for the Formula Hololive International schedule. And then we have Hoshinova Muna for driven by Fawaz Mori. And then we have Crazy Oli, driven by Keiko Takaboshi. Sakamata Chloe, driven by Ray Liu. And then we have the Amane Nakanata car, driven by Zach Champagne. Corey Rica Mendes returns in the Takana Shikara car. All of the Decision Archive cars are looking to race again. Par 1, which is Tokyo Zora, driven by Hofumi. And then we have Alex Grant representing Yukihana Lamy. Iris represented by Aaron Mazzi. And then we have Zeke Wimberley in the Okami Mio car. And of course, we're looking at a few more entries. Kaminari Reba in the pit lane for Omar Polka. Finally, Richie Ra is in the pit lane. And then we have Owen Sarto for Sharonoi Flair. And then we have Maverick Duciem for Shiro Botan. Let's see if we have a few more rides that we're missing. We have Makoto Miyamoto for Tsunamaki Watame. It's very much into the evening here in Sportsland SUGO. Raji Kaczynski representing Yuzuki Choco. And then we have Anita Perez representing Hakos Bales. And then we have Daniel Goyena for Usada Pecora. Ed Sky for Kazama Iroha. Fabia Mendez races today for Hakui Koyori. And then we also have Rim Olga for Ozora Subaru. Daniel Molatev for Tokoyami Toa. Mohamed Cashew for Mori Calliope. Nekomata Kaye represented by Altisar Tanarao. Robert Caruso represents Takane Louie. And then we have Lapos Darngas represented by Seri Kayumov with Gargura represented by Brandon McConley. Aina Milflissa represented by Lance Oryx. And that should be everyone. I don't think we have missed everyone left. I don't think we have missed anyone left. So with that out of the way, we're just gonna go straight into this qualifying session here. It's gonna be a pretty interesting session here in this qualifying because apparently someone has elected to skip this qualifying session. One of the drivers being Mohamed Khalid Reza. He's gonna have a challenge of starting at the back. So anyways, let's get into the qualifying session for real. So just before that, we're gonna need to adjust the graphics just a bit. So anyways, I'm Mama Shazareza in the commentary booth, and alongside me is the driver for Omar Polka, a fan of Gen 5, Kaminari Riba. So, Riba, what are your thoughts coming into this Nightfall event?
I just I hope it's gonna be a fun and entertaining race, and that the drivers do their best. Also, if you ask how I got here, basically a time rip. Then ask about that. And ask how I drive and commentate at the same time. We just do this.
Good to know there. Good to know there, Riba. Because right now, while it's currently morning here in some parts in Europe, we're approaching noon in certain areas. We're technically reaching the evening portion here in Japan, as you can see here. Just wanted to backtrack the cameras just a bit to show you the camera lens. Here is the sun right now, and right now the sun is slowly setting. But right now, at least in Japan. But for now, the drivers are all very keen to get their laps in, except Shazin Reza, who decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do any laps here this time in qualifying. I'm just going to let everyone else do their laps. I'm just going to go find another way to win this race.
And just start from the back, max level of difficulty. Let's see what he can pull out.
Well, that is one thing, because he has to overtake like 35 cars. So let's take a look into some of the remaining drivers here. 35 of the 36 cars are in this qualifying session. So with that out of the way, let's go on board Muhammad Shakib Reza. As you can see here, it's already exited the final corner. You can see, we mentioned this previously, exiting the final corner is very crucial because you have this long main straight here coming into the first two corners, 90 degrees of right-hand corners, both of them at the same time. You might just want to take these two corners as one. You can see here, right just before the billboard, coming into the first two corners. Just wanted to change the cameras just a bit. And now coming into turn 3, watch out for the traffic here on the right. And unfortunately, Shakib Reza, fortunately for Shakib Reza, he's managed to clear the traffic, but he's lost a good amount of time there. Coming into hairpin curve, which is turn 4, and into the S-shaped curve, which is basically chicane, turns 5 and 6. 29.253 for Shakib Reza in the first sector. And now coming into high point, which is turn 7. Taking it easy there, basically coming into the mid gears. And then upshift and downshift into rainbow corner. Again, good exit here in the rainbow corner. Leads you to this downhill. A long back straight, almost as long as the main straight here, coming into horseback, which is basically turn 9. Once you start hitting the white curves there, you gotta need to really get yourself down on the brakes. And now coming into the SP section of racetrack here, you gotta need to have your flow on, as you need to really carry that momentum. Don't lose it in the middle of the corner. Otherwise you lose a lot of time. And then coming into turn 11, and then you'll be approaching to the moto section of Sportsland SUGO. We're using that layout for the sake of safety. And then we got turns 12, 13, 14, and then the final corner here. Take it easy there, first gear. Don't need to pressure yourself here. But then once you get into this section, now you need to have the best exit possible out of the final corner, so that you can have the best exit to gain a lot of time on the straights. And that is going to be a lap here at Sportsland SUGO, at least for the moto layout. As Shakib Reza currently sets a 1:56.120. Not exactly setting lap times on fire, but a good first lap time nonetheless.
It's gonna put in a mark for others, so they have an easier time.
So anyways, we're looking for next train of drivers that will be completing their lap times here. You can see here we have Butri Farakama, Keiko Takaboshi, Richie Rod, and Lance Oryx are about to cross their laps. There's a big gap there because Richie Rod is only 5 seconds slower than Shakib Reza. But meanwhile, Mo Cashew sets a very good lap time. Meanwhile, there's also Robert Kurusha and Rim Olgo. Rim Olgo, of course, it has been very quick there here at Sportsland SUGO over the past day, over yesterday that is. And now we're looking into another good performer, that is Ri Liu, only a second behind. Scratch that, Lorenzo Ricci, 1:57.210.
Scratch that, Kaczynski goes into first place with a 1:55.8, cutting down 2 tenths, not 3.
Great stop there from Raijib representing Yuzuki Choko. Now, obviously, if if you're in school and you're basically looking to have a visit to the infirmary, you might want to see Yuzuki Choco because she's got a good amount of treatment. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yes.
more drivers setting their lap times. Just looking at Miyamoto, Daham. Oh, you can see here Jeff Clark. Really,
snatches pulled by 2 seconds.
I agree there, Reba. Literally faster than Raja Kaczynski by 2 seconds. Literally smashing the lap time expectations there, and that might cause someone to actually finally try to get out of the pit lane, because right now Shazin Reza is actually thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna try to find my way to be competitive here. So right now we actually have a choice there. Shazin Reza finally coming out of the pits. Let's see what he can do. Okay, so right now we're looking into current situations here. Right now, the front row currently consists of Gen 2 members, while Gen 2 representatives Jeff Clark and Rajan Kaczynski. Oh, and that Sky has a bit of an issue there. I think he has made contact, but unfortunately he's able to get himself back out to the racetrack to get a resumption in. So he's back.
It doesn't seem like... Why is he going so slow? I hope he doesn't have damage, because that's gonna... No, okay, he's fine. Okay, car seems fine, but we'll have to look back into that.
So anyways,
what happened there.
Yeah, we'll check into that. We'll check into what happened later, but it was mostly a collision between Shazin Reza and Goyena. Well, sorry, Shazin Reza and Sky. But for now, both of them are looking to continue on as normal. And now you can see here, Bolatev and Goyena just recently set their lap times. They're now currently 14th and 15th respectively. Now, just to want to clarify on some of the driver situation here, some of the guys are currently way back. And some of them are actually surprisingly at the front. Now, looking into some of the drivers that are surprisingly at the front, Alex Grant representing Yukihana Lamy is currently on top. Well, not exactly on top, but he's in the second row. Where in both Follow GT3 and Formula Hololive, he hasn't been performing as well. But whatever, because he's doing very well right now. Right now, no one is stopping Jeff Clark. 1:53.747 is the benchmark time for everyone to beat. And right now, we're still looking at even more drivers trying to set their lap times. Zach Champagne improves with a 1:58, only 4.6 seconds behind Jeff Clark. But meanwhile, for Shazin Reza, who has just started his lap time, let's take a look into where he's going to be gaining, because I believe he's going to be a definite contender for the top spot.
He kind of messed up turn 1, but we'll see. We'll see if he can catch up.
So anyways, into the first sector, and he looks to only be behind by 0.7 of a second, so not the good start that he's looking for. So if you want to take a look into predictions, he might just be in top 3 territory, but to beat Jeff Clark is to basically beat him thoroughly on strategy. And right now, Shazin Reza is currently being blocked by fellow Gen 4 teammate Zach Champagne in the Amane Kanata car, and that's not going to do Shazrin any favors as he tries to find some space.
Yeah, that's really, honestly, it's very annoying when a teammate blocks your path. It's not a teammate, but, same gen. It's just annoying when people get in front of you and don't move. What can you do? He's on a lap as well, so you can't do much about it.
And right now, Shazin Reza,
and not lose it.
Yeah, yes. Will you share your sentiments there, Reba? So anyway, you can see here, Champagne still on his lap. Shazin Reza is unfortunately behind. He wants to try to overtake, but he cannot really tempt that. He cannot really tempt to basically mess up his own teammate's lap time. But then he realized his teammate is already on the pit lane, so that kind of is irrelevant anyway. So Shazin Reza is going to start his time in the leaderboards only 7th fastest, so not bad for now, but he still has a few other cars that he needs to beat. Right now, he has 6 other cars that he's looking to try to outrun. And right now, Jeff Clark is currently one of the drivers have already set the fastest lap time. But meanwhile, let's take a look into other remaining drivers who are at the bottom. Ishikawa, the third for Oro Crony, is in 27th. Fabio Mendes for Hakui Kori in 28th. Dahan for Fauna in 29th. Fawaz Mori for Hoshino Muna is in 30th. Richie Raw 31st. Kayumo 32nd. Takaboshi, who was at the front midway through the race here in yesterday, is currently 33rd. Orix 34th. Fures 35th. Farakama once again lowest of all of the drivers in qualifying, 36th. But if you have watched yesterday's race, you know that qualifying almost doesn't matter, because suddenly you find out that everyone might have a massive reshuffle, if you may have known, because the pit stops are actually very crazy. Due to the fuel tanks of these cars, they're only going to be pitting like every 3 to 4 laps. And because they're only going to be pitting every 3 to 4 laps, there's going to be a lot of pit activity. Like they're going to pit like 6 to 7 times. Meanwhile, Sean Pauly with a massive improvement there.
155.9.
And puts himself third. So great stuff there for the Inugami Korene driver, who's currently having quite the season in Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive. Not what he would expect. He's still mid-table, but after winning the Split A championship in Hololive GT3, that's still pretty good for Sean Pauly, especially now that he's currently in third place. But now looking at Shazrin Reza, who is about to finish his lap, he might just be able to surprise people because he has been very quick and rapid. He might just be challenging for pole position. Yes, he does.
Takes it by 5/10. Amazing stuff.
Again, Shazrin Reza shows his dominance in adapting to race cars. He's already had a good run on the last race here yesterday. He started on pole, but then he decided that he wants to take a short break. So anyway, Shazrin Reza is currently in the lead, currently in provisional pole, ahead of Jeff Clark, Raji Kaczynski, Sean Pauly, and his brother Shakib Reza is not far behind in 5th. And as we say that, Antana Rao, 2 seconds slower than the pole sitter Shazrin Reza. He's currently in 3rd place. Very good lap from the Okayu driver. And this just shows you that in this type of racing, you gotta need to really adjust to your rides. And obviously, a lot of these drivers are still trying to get used to these cars. Soft suspension, very twitchy car, high center of gravity. It's not what they were used to in the Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3. So whatever the case is, it's gonna be a massive case of just trying to adapt.
As it seems, yes, because as you said, these cars are quite new and can be unpredictable. Because as for as much as having a good vehicle counts, in this case, it's mostly gonna be the driver and strategy. That's what is gonna take the race.
Well, one guy has said race loud. Well, obviously these cars are the highest pitch we've ever run in any of the 3 Aero series that we've had so far. And right now, obviously, we're gonna try to make it as loud as possible. We've already maxed the mic, but we really can't max the basically on-track audio anymore, because that might actually negatively affect the ability for all of you to listen to our commentary, which is also just as important as the racing you see on track. And right now, I just wanted to check into the current situation here. Oh, Lorenzo Ricci currently 3rd place. Meanwhile, we're seeing an even bigger shuffle here. More lap times are being set. Faster lap times are being set at the end of the session. Farakama, who was at the bottom of the table, is now currently mid-table, currently in 19th.
2 seconds, right?
Yeah, it looks like she has gained a lot of time, and obviously she's only like 5 seconds behind the pole sitter, that is Shazrin Reza. Now, Farah Kamal obviously showing herself that in her 12th Hololive GT3 starts, well, Hololive GT3 Japan Series starts in 2022 representing Yukana Lamy. She single-handedly brought the Lamy car from bottom of the table to winning the Split B Championship. So if you want to find a good wheel woman, Farah Kamal might just be the driver for you. But right now, she's looking to commit to the Formula Hololive International season with Pavolia Rene. Coming into the end of this qualifying session, Shazrin Reza has already parked his car. He thinks that he has already had enough. So we are now looking into the remaining drivers to finish the lap. So looking into a few drivers here, Callum Gibbons currently down in 24 despite winning Hololive GT3's overall split and split A, as well as winning Formula Hololive split A. Callum Gibbons, a pro driver representing Roboco, currently sitting in mid-table.
And he's stuck behind traffic, so it's not sure if he gets out of his position, which is 25th. I hope so for him, but doesn't look promising.
And looking into the remaining drivers who are going to be completing their lap times, Richie Rod still stuck in a rut. A 2-minute lap time for him as he's currently stuck behind Michael Turner. But Rod might just want to try to peel in around the inside to try to make a move around Michael Turner. Michael Turner obviously way up in 17th place. Richie Rod really wants to gain some time. But right now, a lot of these drivers are basically racing each other for the fastest lap time. Well, literally racing each other.
So many. They're all there. It's so dangerous, but they don't care. They want that lap time.
So anyways, just wanted to check on everyone else. They were double file exiting horseback, and now with these guys exiting SP out, they're all basically going back to single file. But in terms of lap times, a lot of the lap times have been compromised because obviously SUGO is a small track, but even for these cross carts who are lapping this moto layout at a speed of 1 minute and 50s or 2 minutes whatnot, they're still basically trying to shoehorn a lot of these cars in one small spot, and sometimes it can cause a lot of traffic. You see here a lot of drivers having to stop and all that stuff because some drivers are thinking that they want to pit. And looking into the end of this qualifying session, looks like we have a top 5. Southern Reza on pole, Clark in second, and Tanner out third, Kurwisha fourth, and Kaczynski is in fifth. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's take a look into the starting lineup here, because we have had some pretty crazy moments in this race. So before that, Reba, I would like to hear your thoughts on this qualifying session.
It was very interesting, very fast, we can say, because they were racing each other down to the last centimeter. They were racing each other using every little bit of inch of a track, but and they gave it all, and that's now it's gonna be shown in the race as well.
Okay, good to know, Reba. So obviously we'll have this 27 lap race about to get underway here. 100 kilometers of racing here in the SUGO KartX race, the Splash Party KartX race at SUGO Nightfall edition. So the guy to sweep pole positions here in this race, Mohamed Shadrin Reza, for his second pole of the weekend for him and More Luna. He will start on pole. Jeff Clark is alongside him in second place, representing Nakiri IMA. Althusser Antanarao, a man with words, representing Nekomata Okayu in third place. Robo Karisha with his very good qualifying session, representing Takane Loi. He will start fourth. Raj Kaczynski fifth. For Yuzuki Choko, with Sean Pauly alongside him, representing Inagami Korone in 6th. Danilo Goyena in the number 11 Pecora cart in 7th place. And Mamashaki Reza for Momosu Zunene, he will start 8th. Rim Olgo and Alex Grant make up row 5, representing Ozora Subaru and Yukihana Lamy respectively. We have Wawan Suharto in 11th place for Shiranoe Flair alongside Aaron Mazzi, highest EN class car in 12. He represents Iris. Fabio Mendes 13th place for Hakui Koyori, with Lorenzo Ricci 14th for Hosha Marine. Riliu and Zach Champagne starting 15th and 16th for Sakamata Chloe and Amane Kanata respectively. Maverick Duciem and Michael Turner start 17th and 18th for Shishiro Botan and Shirogane Noah respectively. Mohamed Cashew and Daniel Bolatev make up the 10th row, with Cashew being the second EN class driver in the field at the moment, and Daniel Bolatev representing Tokoyami Toa in 20th. Just a reminder, Cashew represents Mori Calliope. Makoto Miyamoto starts 21st in the Sonamaki Watame car, and there's only 3 ID class cars in this race, with Farah Kamal currently representing Papolia Rene, the best ID class car in the field at the moment. Corey Rico Mendes, after winning the EN class, winning in the EN class of the Daybreak race, now starts 23rd in the Nightfall race, alongside Kaminari Reba in 24th for Omar Polka. Alright, reminder, Corey Rico Mendes represents Takanashi Kara. Anita Perez and Callum Gibbons, 2 Australians in row 13, as Anita Perez represents Hakos Bales and Callum Gibbons representing Roboco. They will start in row 13. Zeke Wimberley representing Okami Miho and Ed Sky representing Casamari Roja will start on row 14. Row 15 is Brendan McConley representing Gaogura and Keiko Takaboshi representing Irony 15. Well, we just wanted to scratch that because there's actually 4 ID class cars instead of 3. Apologies there. Bonishikawa the third and Richie Rock make up 31st and 32nd, representing Oro Crony and Shirakami Fubuki as well. Nasir Daham and Fawaz Mori representing Saras Fauna and Muna Hoshinova respectively. They will start 33rd and 34th. Suri Kayamov and Lance Oryx round out the field here of 36 cars. They represent Lapis Darkness and Anya Melfisa respectively. So with that out of the way, let's get this race underway. We are having an amazing race. We've had an amazing race last time out yesterday at the Daybreak race, and this time we're just gonna hope that the Nightfall race has the same, if not a better racing product. We also wanted to hope that the Splash Party Day 2 live does not get compromised this time, unlike the first one. So with that out of the way, the race will finally start to get underway here. Shadran Reza, this again on pole position, this time with Jeff Clark alongside him, who's gonna edge ahead of the field. And it's gonna be go, go, go for everyone here. This time it's gonna be an amazing start. But we're gonna need to pay attention at the back. Is there gonna be issues at the back? No issues at the back. And now we're looking at Shadran Reza consolidating the race lead away from Jeff Clark. Let's see if there's gonna be any contact here. Now Antanara is gonna be under pressure from his fellow Okakoro teammate Sean Pauly. Oh, there's more side-by-side battles here right now because he's going to try to defend against Shakib Reza. And you can see here Pauly gets poked behind by Kaczynski, and Sean Pauly gets dropped down to 6th place. And now we're seeing a few amount drivers taking it easier around the S curve, which is basically a chicane. Shadran Reza leads this race. Jeff Clark 2nd, and Croatia now jumps up to 3rd place after a good start on the inside line coming into turn 1. And Tanara 4th, Kaczynski 5th. Pauly is in 6th, Shakib Reza 7th, Goyena 8th, Olgor 9th, and Swadto rounds out the top 10. Just wanted to check on the current situations here at the moment. You can see here Ricci is looking for a way past DuCM there. And looking into the guys further back, there is a side-by-side battle. 2 wide coming into horseback. You can see here Callum Gibbons against Riba for 23rd place. Gibbons has the inside line coming into horseback, coming into SP section. Who's going to blink first? It's going to be Riba as Callum Gibbons finally overtakes the Italian driver. And meanwhile, Wimberley is going to be trying to get himself into the mix. He has already overtaken Troy Rico. So anyways, Riba, it's a crazy first lap here at the moment. As you can see here, Wimberley goes off wide, but that wouldn't really bother him because these cars... Oh, you can see here, the car driver is almost coming to a stop here at the final chicane. But meanwhile, looking into Wimberley, looking to find a way past Riba, everyone's just going to try to take it easier around this final set of corners. And you can see here, more side-by-side battles.
It's Sky trying to move on Rod, goes on the inside bit, but he keeps the inside... He has the outside on the following turn and has to stay in 28th.
And now, starting lap 2, Shadran Reza doesn't have the dominance that he has had the previous race. Right now, he's actually under pressure from Jeff Clark behind. And right now, Jeff Clark is hot on the heels of the race leader, that is Mohamed Shadran Reza. Now, Shadran Reza knows that his dominance in the previous race is just not there. And right now, he's relying on basically his own pace himself. And right now, looking into the rest of the field, it's all pretty okay at the moment. But first of all, let's take a look at the progress chart and who gains the most on lap 1. Maverick DuCM. Maverick DuCM started 17th, is now up to 14th. Callum Gibbons started 26th and is now up into 23rd, gaining 3 places in the process. So what a good start for them. So anyways, just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't bought tickets to the Splash Party Day 2, it's still there for 5,500 yen. The QR code is on the bottom of your screen, bottom right of your screen. So if you want to head into the Zan website to get yourself access into the Splash Party Day 2 live stream, you are able to do so of your screen, the bottom right of your screen, to access Zen's website for you to gain access. So anyways, back onto the racing scene here. We're looking at probably Shazin Reza pinning this lap because he wants to try something new. Meanwhile, Jeff Clark is actually not far behind. Let's see if Jeff Clark can challenge the leader. Fastest lap out of anyone so far. Jeff Clark 1:53.751, faster than Shazin Reza by a tenth of a second. So Clark is really coming in to attack.
He wants that first place because now that the pole sitter has pitted, he has a shot at taking the lead and keeping behind.
Yeah, good. Yes, good to know, Reba. So looking into the rest of the field here, looking into the current situation that we are looking at, Shazin Reza might be pitting one lap earlier than everyone else to try to overcut the rest of the field. Remember, 10 liters in these fuel tanks, and they are basically jugging 2.5 liters of fuel every lap. So they're going to be pitting every 4 laps. And nice to see a good amount of viewership in this stream. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the race before the Splash Party Day 2 stream. And right now, looking into some of the other battles here, the battles might just have to move into the pit lane. Shazin Reza might be the first to respond.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction, but it seems as for now it's gonna be like that. I don't think that the Shazin and Clark will be out of those positions because they just have an immense gap to those behind. So I don't think they're gonna end far down from first and second.
And right now, Shazin Reza, as predicted, he will be pitting. So right now, nice to know your predictions right now with Jeff Clark setting yet another fastest lap of this race, 1:53.6. And you can see here, Croatia is actually not catching up to the leader, Jeff Clark. And Antanarao is also trying to find his way back up into the top spots as the leader, as basically the guys up front are trying to catch Jeff Clark. Jeff Clark is currently the best guy around as Shazin Reza comes into the pits. And actually, as predicted, Shazin Reza has already made a very quick pit stop. Doesn't really take a long time to fill up his fuel. So right now, Shazin Reza is just going to exit just barely ahead of Champagne, maybe ahead of his fellow Gen 4 teammate Bolatev. Oh, just exits very aggressively. And now Michael Turner, who has already overtaken Bolatev. And now Cash is looking to find a spot.
But the margin between Clark and the second just keeps increasing. It was 6 at the second lap. Is now 8.5 seconds. Though everybody will have to pit around this lap.
Well, maybe. But remember, in the first 2 pit stops, there has been a major reshuffle in terms of the order in the pit stops. But right now, we're not counting out anything. We're not counting out anything when it comes to basically pit stop strategies and how it will reshuffle everything in the field. Because right now, Croatia is about to be called into the pits. Jeff Clark is about to be called into the pits. We're going to see most of the drivers coming into pit. Remember, Shazin Reza has already pitted the lap prior, and we're gonna see a case of strategy unfolding for everyone here.
But it's no denying that Clark and Shazin are on another level of pace. They're always 3 seconds faster than the rest of the field.
So obviously, everyone coming into the pit, Reba says that we should be watching out for Shazin Reza and Clark, the 2 guys who have qualified and started on the front row. A lot of drivers coming into pit.
Clark now is going to be stuck. Clark is going to be stuck now because of the others pitting. Yeah, you're right.
But meanwhile, Shazin Reza, with a very good undercut strategy and very good on his pit stop, means that he will inherit the race lead. but obviously he wants to also have a challenge in him, so he might want to pit again soon and maybe pit for longer periods of time. So anyways, we're looking into the current pit stops cycles here. This time, oh, you get contact in the pit lane.
Oh, that's huge, and they've crashed. Who is it?
It looks to me that it's Brendan McConley and Anita Perez who have basically collided in the pit lane, and now they're stuck and they're not going to take any further part in this race.
That's sad to see, but it's sad. That's it.
That makes it 2 retirements here in the SUGO kart cross Nightfall race. It's the Splash Party massacre for the first 2 for the 2 drivers that were involved. For both Brendan McCauley and Ninja Perez, that it can consider their races to be over. And meanwhile, as the pit stops have cycled again, we're looking at Corey Rico Mendez now in 2nd place, and Farah Kamal is in 3rd. And now with the rest of the drivers coming in to have already started their pit stop, now Fawaz Mori tries to go down the inside of Oryx, and now Mori gets back up to 6th place. More shuffles here at the moment. Let's take a look into the progress chart. The biggest gainers are the ones who are started at the back. Nasir Daham, Ishikawa the 3rd, Lance Oryx, Fawaz Mori, Keiko Takaboshi. Well, let's take a look at Lance Oryx, who started, I think, at the back, and he's now in 7th place. And Shadreza coming into pit once again, and that will actually play into the hands of certain drivers here. You can see here Rico Mendes currently barreling down into the final section of the racetrack before he has to start another lap again. He's currently at the final corner, and now Shadreza still having his time in the pit lane. Meanwhile, Rico Mendes is currently trying to get a good exit off of the final corner. Shadreza just gets out. Shadreza will have no problems with his 2nd pit stop, but for now, Corey Rico Mendes has a lot of catching up to do.
And in the midfield, Clark is actually catching back up. He's just overtook Richie Rod, heading into 14th place, and now hunting down Shakib.
And now Shakib Reza obviously looking to find a way past Reba, who is also a kind of ace of strategy game. He's now up to 12th place. Looking into some of the other drivers here currently in the field, you can see more battles here. You can see Michael Turner overtakes Alex Grant, but not before Alex Grant tries to get him back. You can see here Turner tries to defend on the inside line off the final corner, but Michael Turner manages to hold on. And right now, looking into, like we mentioned, the biggest gainers here is the ID and Ian class car showing up once again. And the guys who were at the front are not currently at the back. Look at Altus Santana, who was inside the top 3. He's now down in 25th, as does Robert Kurwisha and Jeff Clark. But Jeff Clark actually has it slightly better because he's currently in 14th.
Yes. He could have the pace to get back in the podium places. He's not sure. I don't feel like it's sure, but he could have a chance at it. He's very fast. As I said before, he's 3 seconds faster than the rest, as is Shadran.
And looking into the rest of the field, Aaron Mazzi now jumps up to 4th place. Again, one of the biggest gainers of that first pit stop. Well, one of the first pit stop where everyone else is pitting. Now Aaron Mazzi trying to catch up to Putri Farah Kamal, who is currently in 3rd place. Let's see if Mazzi can really mount a charge.
Also in 10th place, Richie has overtook Ishikawa, and so did Poli. Poli overtook Ishikawa again.
And you can see here Ishikawa got shuffled back at the horseback corner here. It gets overtaken by 2 drivers at once. But remember, as what Zeke Wimberly mentioned yesterday, all of this is going to be irrelevant on that first 2. All your position is going to be irrelevant on that first 2 pit stops, because there's going to be a massive reshuffle every time people are going to be on the pit lane. And you can see here Shadowskip Reza looking to try to find a way past Kaminai Riba. Meanwhile, Riba's going to try to find a way past. But meanwhile, Shakib Reza uses that opportunity to get Riba back. It's basically Nepo. Sorry, no. Yeah, it's a Nepo battle here at the moment. The Nepo of Nepo Labo currently challenging for 12th place. Riba manages to defend, but right now Riba has a very good exit off the final corner. Let's see what he can do against Ishikawa the 3rd.
Ishikawa almost goes off, try and defend, I think. But he almost goes off, and Riba gets moved on. My clone got the moved on, nice.
But meanwhile, by the way,
was off.
Sean Pauli actually overexerted on that turn 2 and basically went off wide just a bit, but that will be irrelevant because Sean Pauli manages to hang on to his position because he was looking for an opportunity to pass Ricci on that second corner, but obviously it was a bit too far for him. So anyways, Pauli gets himself back into speed. Meanwhile, Ricci tries to find a way past Nasser Daham, who's currently in 8th place for Sarasvana. And looking into the rest of the field, Corey Rico Mendes against Shadon Reza. Shadon Reza is literally pulling away from the rest of the field. And right now, Shadon Reza is going to go for his second pit stop earlier than everyone else. But let's see how it can go.
This is the third pit stop. Ain't this the third?
Farah Kamal's currently in 3rd place representing Pavolia Rene. Aramazzi is still trying to find a way past Farah Kamal for Iris. And meanwhile, there's another shuffling for positions here just a bit because I just wanted to get into a bit of intermission just a bit because we just wanted to check up on a few things. Shadon Reza has decided that he wants to spend more time in the pit lane because he thinks he's dominating too much. So anyways, Farah Kamal currently in 3rd place. And right now, Shadon Reza is going to be hanging around in the pits for a while just because he wants to give other people some breathing space.
This feels like such a Kimi Räikkönen moment. Like, I mean, I gotta be here. I mean, it's like a hobby for me. I don't have to do it if I don't want. It just feels like that.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
The others are not catching up. I'll let them.
Yeah, you can see here more side-by-side battles coming in, and you can see here Shadon Reza is still hanging around in the pit lane. He might think of going out, maybe, but for now, Shadon Reza is still hanging around in the pit lane. He's already tasted the JP class win yesterday. He probably doesn't feel like he wants to continue. As you can see here, Shadon Reza is still staying in that pit lane. But meanwhile, Corey Rico Mendes has now inherited the race lead from Farah Kamal, who's currently in 2nd. Highest of the JP class cars is currently Lorenzo Ricci representing the Sencho Porsche Marine.
He's doing a great work to represent the captain. He's in 7th. He's chasing down Oryx, and the gap is cutting down. It was 5/10, now 4/10, and now back to 5. Well, he's gonna get it. I mean, to be sure.
Well, right now we have this downhill section here. Maybe Ricci's gonna try to make a dive bomb down the inside. Yes, he does. Into the inside, into horseback. The 6 versus the 33. It's Porsche Marine versus IML Fissar at horseback, and it looks like Ricci will have P6 consolidated in cart number 6. And Shadon Reza is still basically stuck inside the car with not much of an intention of returning.
I think he's having a coffee or a tea. Okay, no, he's out. Okay, he's done.
But meanwhile, I just wanted to give a double check on current situations here. Where is Perez? Perez is actually still back on track. They were basically stuck in the pit lane, but they've managed to get themselves fixed and recover. But obviously, Perez is a lot of laps down.
Yeah, he's.
And meanwhile, we have the next pit stops coming in. Corey Rico Mendes, Putri Farah Kamal, Aramazzi, Keiko Takaboshi currently in the pit lane. And now Corey Rico Mendes is looking to consolidate his place in the race lead. You see Sean Pauli, Kaminari Riba, Shakif Reza, Jeff Clark, Richie Rod, a lot of these drivers already coming into pit. We're going to be seeing probably a second shuffle in terms of pit strategy right now. Wow. Some people are noting, wow, American sprint cars in F1 tracks. Well, F1 hasn't raced here in SUGO, Super Formula has raced here in SUGO. So yeah, we're looking into cars with soft suspension who are meant to handle dirt, currently racing here. And now we're looking into another shuffle here. And now we're looking at Keiko Takaboshi still hanging on with Falls Mori not far behind. As you can see here, both of them are actually racing through on the exit. And right now, it's going to be Falls Mori who is slightly ahead. Keiko Takaboshi has to yield. And now, it's Falls Mori who takes second place. And now looking into the current field at the moment. Oh, you can see here McCauley pushing Ishikawa the third. Remember, McCauley is actually a few laps down because of the incident he's had, and you can see some drivers having to stop just to make sure of just to ensure their safety. So, anyways, Lorenzo Ricci is still the best JP class driver, unless Shaka Shadras has anything to say about it. Oh, Ricci thought about locking up there because he overestimated the corner, and now he's lost position to Jeff Clark, who now leads in the JP class.
I don't think he would have made the kind of mistake. I think he hit a cone. I saw him hit a cone. That's why he went off. But overconfidence does that. Should have looked out for that.
So anyways, looking into Sheldon Reza, who is still in 18th place despite all of the current incidents here at the moment. Sheldon Reza might have lost a good amount of time, but at least he's still in it. Well, at least to an extent. You can see here, he now tries to challenge Robert Kurisha for 17th place. He's gonna do another last to first challenge. He wants to try to have some fun. Basically, your analogy of Kimi Räikkönen is basically right. You just want to sometimes you just want to have fun in a race start without giving too much of a damn in the world. And now you can see Sheldon Reza coming down the inside for a move at
There's
horseback.
A dive bomb, very late dive bomb.
Well, it's a dive bomb from far back, but at least he knew it coming. He has actually prepared for it, and now Sheldon Reza is currently in 17th place. But obviously, he might have to pit again due to the declining amount of fuel. So he might have to do another basically charge from the back. And right now, with 9 laps complete, Corey Rico Mendes currently still leads by a good amount against Fawaz Mori. He's basically taken a page from Sheldon Reza on the pit strategies. From as early as yesterday, he's now leading this race by 45 seconds over Fawaz Mori. RMS currently in 5th place for Iris. He's doing very well there to represent Hope. Hope is in 5th place. Let's see Hope can take the win. But for now, anyways, about these Kamotos, about these cross carts, we just wanted to give you a bit of a fun fact on about what these cross carts are. So basically, these are cross carts. Basically, you merge the idea of go-karts and off-road. And if you want to look at the amount of horsepower, their maximum horsepower is around 132 horsepower at 14,000 RPM. Obviously, they also use Yamaha bike engines as well, so that all kind of helps in their cause. But they're also very, very light, like only 350 kilograms. And with that, they could achieve some kind of power rate ratio of 2.65 kilograms per horsepower. So obviously, they are very small, but they can pack a good amount of punch. So anyways, looking into the current racing scenario at the moment, it's all calmed down a bit. We're going to probably look at another pit stop phase in the next lap or two.
And I wanted to point out that Shakif Reza managed to get Rod and Riba, and is now in 13th place.
Good eye there, Riba. And now you can see here more battles here between Cal Gibbons and Raja Kaczynski here. And Raja Kaczynski overtakes Gibbons at horseback, and which actually Gibbons had to take into the escape road. But for now, Gibbons is currently down in 23rd, but right at this moment, everyone is just having fun, just chilling around at the moment. And as you can see here, more battles, I guess, because right now we're looking into battles between Clark and Ishikawa III. Clark is on the charge. Remember, he is a front row driver. He starts on the front row. He is basically faster than everyone bar Sazdrain, and right now he's on the charge. And Ricci
goes for the move down the inside on Ishikawa and gets it done.
Great move there from Ricci to make a move against Ishikawa the third. So actually move against no, not really, because Ishikawa the third actually manages to still hang on to 9th place. But for Paulie, he has basically managed to get past Miyamoto. But now there could be another battle here. Shaka Reza might look to get past Miyamoto, and now Michael Turner has overtaken both Reba and Raw. Just wanted to remind everyone of that for 14th place. Reba, just wanted to remind you that you are free to speak anytime I am not speaking. Just share anything that you want. But meanwhile, for now, let's take a look into Michael Turner against Shakib Reza. It's the Dancho versus everyone's wife, Momo Suzunene. And now they're both side by side. It's going to be in Dancho's favor, this battle. And as you can see here, yes, it's Michael Turner's 13th place. Meanwhile, Richie Rod tries to attack Shakib Reza. Again, as you can see here, some of these drivers are already falling off quite a bit. And now you can see here, Richie Rod is been pinched by Shakib Reza. And that's going to leave the door open for Reba to make a pass.
Also, you said before, I didn't say anything. I'm just enjoying the racing, actually.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Just gonna need to double check on the windows here. I hope you can see the current screen right now, the window projector. Okay, good to know. So anyways, Holly is currently overtaking Miyamoto. Rod has overtaken Shakib Reza, as they might be called into the pit sooner or later. Koi Rico Mendes is still in this race at the moment. And now you can see here Shakib Reza still down in 33rd at the moment. He might have to pit once again. And as you can see here, the bottom of the field here currently consists of course, Perez and McConley. And now both of them trying to find their way back into this race. McConley is actually a lap down to the rest of the field. And right now he's just basically a roadblock. And that's just Anita Perez against Sean Pauly. And now looking into Liu, Shazrin Reza, who's also coming into the pits. Daniel Bolatev, Ed Sky, Danilo Goyena, Rim Olgor, Aneltisser, and Tanarau. They're currently well down out of the field at the moment. Let's just hope that they can come back sometime soon. So anyways, just wanted to remind you all that of the current situation here. There's another battle here between Farah Kamal and Aaron Mazzi. What should you know? It's Farah Kamal against Keiko Takaboshi. Two ladies trying to challenge them between themselves. And you can see here Farah Kamal on the inside of her fellow ID teammate Takaboshi. Farah Kamal gets up to third place. Fawaz Mori currently hanging on to second place, trying to catch up to Corey Rico Mendes, who have already pitted. And right now he's also having a quick stop. Corey Rico Mendes is looking to consolidate this race lead, but for how much longer, as Shazin Reza is also slowly trying to catch up.
With now that field laid out like this, I'm gonna say that Mendes is gonna keep it.
But right now, yeah,
he's just found that window where he can pit without getting caught. He can just do that.
And right now, we cannot say the same for everyone else here, because looking into the pit stops, it's going to be a very busy pit lane once again. Fawaz Mori is the first to come out, Farah Kamal second, Takaboshi third. Let's see if the positions are going to change coming into the end of this pit stop.
There's a bit of a roadblock there. Did someone stop? Okay.
Yeah, someone stopped, and that triggered a chain reaction of everyone stopping at the same time. And now looking into the pit stops here, more drivers are coming out. Fawaz Mori continues to consolidate second place. Takaboshi continues to hang on to third, but might not be for long. You can see here, both of them are consolidating their positions. Oh, there's contact between Takaboshi and Mori, and now Takaboshi is really getting aggressive on that pit exit. But let's see if
P2.
Yeah, let's see if she can steal piece 2 away from Fawaz Mori, as they have to make a stop at the exit of the pit lane for just a while. But meanwhile, a lot of drivers making their way into the pit stop, already stationary right now. And now Nasser Daham gets up to 4th place. And Aaron Mazzi and now Brendan McConley still a lap down to everyone else. Lance Orix is in 6th. That's not going to do well if you're Lance Orix, if you're Anya Melfissa, or if you are a Mel friend, because you're going to be stuck behind lap traffic. And right now, Brendan McConley is going to be your obstacle.
Now Paul is fighting with Reba as well. They're fighting for P12, but Reba gets overtaken by Richie.
Oh,
so now it's Richie against Paulie.
Oh, it's currently a battle of
it's a three-way battle between Paulie, Richie, and Reba for the P11.
And meanwhile, as we were saying, the Shazin Reza have basically stolen a good amount of positions. He was in 17th and 18th at one point, and now he's back up to 6.
It's just a game for him. He doesn't. He's just there. He just wins.
And let's see if Shazan Reza can perform a double podium finish at the very least, or at least take the win here in Sportsland SUGO in this kart cross race. Remember, this race is the Splash Party kart cross at SUGO. Well, not exactly kart crosses we're actually going off-road, but there are some off-road elements in terms of pit exits and some of the on-track limits there. As you can see here, these cars are basically meant for off-road and all that stuff. And obviously, Shazan Reza is about to be called into the pit lane once again. Let's see if he can steal a few more positions and be a challenge to Corey Rico.
Considering he might come out in around 15th place if he pits now, because the field is not too packed, but it's quite close.
Oh, you can see here. Richie actually found a spot against Polly, who actually went wide there coming into the final chicane, and that means looks like Lorenzo Ricci is able to steal a position away from Polly. Meanwhile, Rebo still hangs on to 13. And Tanarao, who was at the back of the field, who started on the front, or was started at the front, has now overtaken Shakib Reza for 14th place.
Shazan Reza now pitting, and he's probably gonna be ending 20th. So
anyway, Shazan Reza finally getting out there. He has to see some blue flags for some reason. But then again, blue flags is because Brendan McConley is kind of there. But I don't think there's going to be any blue flags issue. And now Shazan Reza finally gets out ahead of his fellow Gen 4 teammate Miyamoto. Let's see if he can continue his comeback from here.
Hard to not hit him. He has to brake because he would have hit Shazan Reza there.
And right now, the leading JP class car at the moment, Jeff Clark, who's currently in 9th place. Leading the field and the EN class standings is Corey Rico Mendes. Meanwhile, there's another battle here between Antanarao, well, not exactly Antanarao, Sean Pauly and Lorenzo Ricci. Ricci has the inside line coming into horseback. Ricci has to find a long way out. Actually, he almost manages to, but finds that there's no space and now has to concede 10th place to Sean Pauly. But remember, the race is still long. We've already passed the halfway point, and right now everyone here is in their position to try to steal as many positions as they can.
Worry with a whole minute of gap from Mendes. Unless Mendes messes up by himself, this is over. He won.
And right now, Corey Rico Mendes leading this race is actually kind of being blocked by lap traffic. Remember, in front of him is Makoto Miyamoto in 27. 28th on back is basically lap traffic. And right now, Corey Rico is currently being blocked by Makoto right now. And right now, that's not going to do him any favors. Meanwhile, at the back, we have this battle between Olatev, Mendes, Goyena's now down in 30th. And then we have Rim Olger down in 31st, Champagne down in 32nd, Relius down in 33rd, Ed Sky again down in 34th. And then we also have McConley, who is basically already still a lap down and has now found some space. And now we need to Perez, who's also down in 36th, causing chaos as usual in the Hakos Bales car.
Gotta stick to the character, you know.
Yeah, and right now we're looking into the sunset. The sun is absolutely setting here. Kind of a beautiful evening scene here at Sportsland SUGO, as we're now at 15 laps complete. Corey Rico Mendes currently on lap 16. And right now, looking into the rest of the field, Shazan Reza is trying his best to try to get past as many cars as possible. He has had a very fast car, and he's going to try to mount a comeback as Richie Rod goes side by side with Michael Turner once again. The Noel and Fubuki cars are just inseparable. We're seeing both of these drivers battling out since Saturday, and I think this is their like 4th or 5th battle. They just can't be separated.
There's also the fight between Ricci and Pauly that's still going on, as they switch position again. Meanwhile, Uriba stays there. Gibbons and Antaura are still fighting. They switched just now places. And let's
pits. There was a fight for 6th place between Clark and Oryx, and Clark won.
There's a lot of yes, Rebut.
A lot of overtaking here. They're all very close except for
Leader, which is 1 minute and 5 ahead.
Yeah, right now it's a best of the rest battle. You have seen a good amount of shuffling for positions between Shakabreza and Cashew and Tanaro as well. We've seen battles between Duciem and Suharto. Kaziski, Kayomov and Wimberley were trading blows at one point. And now you can see here Shakabreza coming into pit once again. Bit of an uncharacteristic move for him. Anyways, Corey Rico Mendes also coming into pits, while Falls Mori is definitely very far back. But I don't know if he's going to need to pit again. But right now, Corey Rico is currently stationary right now. And you can see here a lot of the drivers just taking it easy here as the sun is slowly setting here in Sportsland SUGO. And looking into the rest of the field here, Ishikawa the third hangs on in 8th place. Farah Kamal 9th, Richie 10th. And Corey Rico Mendes continues to get out with another very good pit stop. And now, looking at Fawzmore, he's only coming into the chicane. Mendes is slowly but surely controlling this race.
Yeah, and with 10 laps to go, I don't see anybody snatching that lead. I don't see no one doing that.
It's basically Shazard Reza, but this time Corey Rico is not holding back. He's gonna try to have this dominant win one way or another. You can see here Paulie overtaking Reba.
Richie got Ishikawa and Farah, but Ishikawa gets it back.
A good eye there, and you can see here Fawaz Mori also coming into pit, looking like a lot of drivers are also coming into pit. Fawaz Mori, Kiko Takaboshi, Nasser Daham is going to follow, Aaron Mazzi, Jeff Clark, Lance Oryx, and let's see if there's going to be any more shuffling in the pit lane. You can see here a lot of battles here. Everyone's bunching up into the chicane. As you can see here, Kaczynski overtaking Kayomov, Cashew overtaking Duciem. A lot of side-by-side battles. It's about who gets to chicken out first, who gets to forge ahead first. And now we have confirmation that Fawaz Mori has completed his pit stop. And right now, looking into everyone else, they're probably going to need to do only like 2 more pit stops.
Holy pits, Reba pits, and Tanaru pits. Shaki Fredza, Cashew, Dixium, Suharto, Kaczynski, Kayomo. Too many names.
So many names are coming into the pits. It's pit stop mayhem here, as you can see here. A lot of drivers coming in, a lot of drivers coming out. And looking into who is coming out right now, we just can't tell who is it going to be, because everyone is just either continuing on or just going straight into the pit box. And right now, we want to talk about who is about to go straight on. Let's take a look into Lance Oryx. And yes, Lance Oryx is going to be the one that's going to stay ahead. Meanwhile, the drivers coming out, that is Corey Rico Mendes, and I think he has already lapped everyone up into Lance Oryx. Really just shows you the amount of dominance Corey Rico has for the rest of the field at the moment. As you can see here, more pit stop exit activity for Farah Kamal, for Perez, who Perez is currently down in 36th place. She may be last, but she's going to cause a massive effect nonetheless. As you can see here, crazy stuff here.
And Shadow Redzna is now back in 6th place, but he will have to pit again soon, so we don't know.
And as you can see here, just wanted to check up on situations here. Shadow Reza is actually the first driver a lap down, and Corey Rico Mendes is literally in front of him. So Shadow Reza is going to try to do his best to unlap himself. He's got the faster car, he thinks, and right now he thinks, I'm going to make an overtake here in horseback. And it's now a guy a lap down trying to unlap himself from the race leader, and now Shadow Reza is able to do just that. Corey Rico Mendes unstoppable at the moment, representing Takanashi Kiara, and obviously nothing is looking to stop him. And looking into the other battles here, Lance Oryx, Ishikawa the third, Perez is in the middle of this battle, and then we have Farah Kamal, and Brendan McCauley is also is within the battle for P7. And then we have Miyamoto currently in 10th place, Shaka Reza is in 11th, Kamine Reba in 12th.
We jumped Paulie and Richie in the pits.
So great stuff here for the Italian driver. So anyways, let's take a look back into the progress chart to see who has gained a lot of progress. Corey Rico Mendes has surprised a lot of people with his consistently good performances. feels like no matter where he starts, he's gonna literally leave a mark in whatever way he can. Because right now he started in 23rd. He has now gained 22 positions to steal this race lead, and not just steal this race lead, but to lead in dominating fashion. And obviously a difference to Shazzy Reza for Corey Rico is that he doesn't care about the entertainment or the fun. He just wants to dominate. And right now that mindset is currently applauded for the fact that he just keeps on going. But meanwhile, speaking of battles, let's take a look at Mazzy against Daham, who is currently in the battle for P4. Currently the best JP class car in the field. Is currently looking into the field. Miyamoto in 9th place representing Watame.
This kind of feels like the last 2 years of F1, where just Verstappen, that's it. He just won everything. Mendes is doing the same thing. I mean, good on him. Like, a win's a win.
I mean, a win's a win, but sometimes you just need to spice things up. But right now, Mendes doesn't seem to want that at the moment. As you can see here, Pauly has overtaken Ribba. After Ribba has overtaken Pauly, but now you can see here another side-by-side battle here. As you can see here, Ribba tries to defend against Ricci, which is gonna look to have this move in the bag coming into the end of horseback. And now Ricci looks to steal a position away. Yes, he does. And speaking of which, Ricci has actually made a double overtake, but not for long. Because you can see here, Sean Pauly actually manages to defend, but that doesn't stop Ricci from making a double overtake. A lot of overtaking, a lot of racing here in these mechanically dependent race cars. You can see here, more side-by-side battles coming into the chicane here. Ricci trying to find a way past Pauly, and as you can see here, Clark is also trying to find a way past Ricci. And now Ricci goes back down. Michael Turner has to drop down a few positions as well after he is almost being overtaken by Shadran Reza. Shadran Reza is looking to continue on. There's now a massive battle. A lot of cars going side by side. You can see here Shadran Reza looking to find a way past the lap car of Brandon McConley, and now looking into Lorenzo Ricci trying to find a way past Jeff Clark. Reba just hanging around, and now looking at Shadran Reza trying to overtake Michael Turner. Turn 1. It's gonna be crazy.
Still fighting, Clark and Rich are still going at it for the 12th place. But for now, it seems like if Clark has the upper hand.
And you can see here Clark gets back on the lap car of McConley there. McConley obviously just racing for laps here. He just wants to gain as much experience as possible. He's now the last driver on track. And with Anita Perez currently down in 35th, currently in the middle of this battle for 7th place.
I got the man B. He's just supposed to drive.
And meanwhile, she's actually trying to unlap herself to Ishikawa the third. She has managed to do so. And we have these flurry of cross carts coming into the horseback corner once again. And looking into the rest of the field here, might they be called into the pit lane? We just don't know. And you can see here Farah Kamal has overtaken Ishikawa the third in the process. Ishikawa the third is losing a lot of pace, and Farah Kamal gets Ishikawa the third back.
Wimberley gets Cash. That's it.
Yes, a confirmation that Cashew has been overtaken by Wimberley at horseback. And as you can see here, some of these drivers are actually willing to use a lot of the racetrack. Maybe actually using up the dirt portion of the racetrack to their good use as well. And as you can see here, Corey Rico Mendes coming into the pits. Fosmore is only just at the back straight coming into horseback, so Mendes still has this race in the bag. Obviously, with Mendes pitting right now, Mendes only needs to make one more pit stop. Everyone else might need to make 2 more pit stops. And as you can see here, Shadran Reza also doing what Mendes has been doing. Let's see what Shadran Reza is gonna need. Let's see what Shadran Reza can do to steal a few more positions.
I think that Mendes could start saving right now. He could just not push. He has a full minute and 10 seconds. The graph says 11, but let's say 1 and 10 full. You could just slow down and keep more fuel, so you have to pit just once and be safe.
Okay, just wanted to... Okay, yes, good to know that. And just a reminder to everyone, It's the Splash Party kart cross race at SUGO. It's the Nightfall edition this time. We're hosting it later in the day because we have to accommodate the day sunshine event of the Splash Party live. That's why we are hosting it later in the day. We have to delay the initial start by 2 hours. So anyways, just wanted to confirm to you all, the Splash Party tickets are still available. Onto the bottom right of your screen is at the QR code. You can scan the QR code to access the Zan website. Hopefully they don't mess around this time with the night live. And now with them finally coming into this pit stops here, with a lot of the drivers having to serve their cars, and now Foz Mori hanging around in second place, Takaboshi hanging on in third place. Foz Mori is looking to win in the ID class comfortably. Corey Gomendez is going to win overall and the EN class, but for the JP class, it's between Miyamoto and Pauly for the overall win, for the JP class win.
Yeah, it seems like that. And I have to admit, the 2-hour delay, for many it might have been a disaster. I gotta thank God it happened. I slept a bit more. Yes, I got home yesterday at 2 because we had to we had my mom's and a few friends' birthday.
Well,
we all did it at once.
Well, don't worry, we're hosting this event to basically not clash with Formula 1 or anything for that matter. So anyways, more drivers coming into the pit lane. Fortunately, there's not much of a pit stop mishap. Oh, except, why did I say that? Because...
Commentators being stupid.
Again, there's more. We got 10 around. Oh, there's contact between multiple other drivers here.
That was a hit. And
stuck. And now, oh dear.
Pauly stuck. Ay.
And that's Antanara looking to be out of this race. He might not be able to continue at this rate. Commentator's curse has happened once again. Oh man.
I took the first one. I take the fault for the first one. You gotta take this one.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, commentator's curse happens, and it looks like Antanara will not be taking any further part in this race. Unfortunately, we're looking at a lot of drivers coming out at the same time. There's gonna be massive chaos. A lot of cars overlapping between each other. But unfortunately for Antanara, that will be his race over after another pit lane mishap. But this time, it's gonna be a race-ending one. And you can see here, a lot of cars exiting at the same time. That's not going to end well for any single one of them. And now looking into a massive amount of shuffle here. Ooh, we really can't tell who is actually ahead of who. But looking into Shadran Reza, he's kind of aced the strategy quite a bit, but he also needs to pit again. He's looking to try to pit on maybe lap 23 or 24 to try to...
He has to keep fuel, or he won't make it. He'll have to pit twice.
Well, he he can pit once, but he will need to pit on lap 23 or lap 24. And right now, there's no issue with fuel so far. But yeah, just a bit of a confirmation. If you are Antanarao, sorry if you're Antanara, because you are basically involved in such a crazy accident in the pit lane. It's a shame that it happens, but it happens.
Yeah,
but fortunately, Antanara is still back out on track, at least ahead of McConley and Perez. He just resets himself back in the pit lane, but he's not retired just yet. He's still in this race. Just being able to continue is just a blessing for him. So yeah. So anyway, Shazan Reza is currently in 6th place after he decided that, oh yes, he's coming to pit now. But obviously, if what you say,
a lot of saving.
Yeah, he either needs to do a lot of fuel saving, or he'll have to pit twice. That's the two things that we can consider here. And looking into
pitting twice would set him far back, behind the 20th.
But let's see if we can have a quick pit stop here, because right now Farah Kamal, Oryx, Ichikawa the third, Grant and Rod. Actually no, Grant is side by side with a lap car of Anita Perez. Richie Rod is actually looking to find a way past Perez as well. You can see here, Rod drives down the inside to probably steal a position away, and the answer is going to be yes. Richie Rod is going to steal a position, taking it easy. Turns 1 and 2 as Shakisran Reza still drops down a few more positions here, but actually doesn't lose another position much. He's still ahead of Brandon McConley, crucially a lap car, and Putri Farah Kamal in 7th. You can see see here, Southern Reza obviously a minute away from Aaron Mazzi, but obviously some of these drivers have yet to pit. Falls Mori trying to dodge himself away from Bolatev, who is currently way down in 29th place. Duciem is in 30th. Well, I wanted to say Pebot, but looking at Daniel Goyena, who is currently a bit higher up, Goyena is currently in 25th. It's not really Pebot, but it is bot in general because we have Toa and Botan.
My opinion, one of the best duos in Hololive.
Well, obviously because they are pretty adept in FPS games, but anyways, you can see here Bolatev having a very messy exit off of Rainbow Corner, coming into the back straight, coming into horseback. Let's see if Duciem is able to dive on down the inside from far back. Yes, he can. Coming into the braking zone into turn 9, that is horseback. Duciem manages to steer clear of Bolatev. More positions gained for Duciem. He's now currently stuck in 29th. But looking into the closing stages of this race, Corey Rico Mendez has this race in the bag unless something weird happens to him.
With just 3 laps to go for him as well. He's done it. He might have to pit one more time, and then he's done.
And looking into the class wins, Corey Rico Mendez is looking to win overall and the EN class. Fawaz Mori is going to win the ID class. And for the winner of the JP class, Shazan Reza is going to try to make it a double for the JP class at least. You can see here Shazan Reza really dancing around the curbs here with a very soft car in terms of suspension. But meanwhile, Zach Champagne gets himself back into the top 26 after overtaking Sergei Kayumov. The sun is really setting here. You can see here the sky is yellowing, the sky is getting yellow. You can see here the sun is setting.
That's a nice shade of orange that gets with the sunset.
And anyways, Alex Grant currently in 11th place, trying to still find a way past Ishikawa the third. And yeah, it's a beautiful sight here, the sunset here in Sportsland SUGO. Obviously, we're still racing these amazing crosscuts here. More side-by-side battles between Croatia and Wimberley, and now Croatia is looking to be in 19th place. And yeah, Corey Rico Mendez is about to make his final scheduled pit stop. And just wanted to give you a bit of a hint, Riba. I think you noticed the font on these cars at the. I think you might find this familiar, right?
Yes, a bit. Well, you mean the names of the?
Well, the style of the number in these cars.
It's quite similar. I can't quite place it though.
You know what? I'll just give you the answer. Because we wanted to have this like groovy vibe of this summer live here at the moment with this summer cross carts, we wanted to take it easy, like have a chill moment and stuff. We wanted to like have a different style of numbers, and obviously in terms of font choice, we had decided to use the Serie A. Actually, the same fonts used in the Italian Serie A. If you watch Italian football and you've seen the back of the jerseys and the number style, you'll find these numbers to be very similar.
Now that I look back at it, yeah, that's correct.
And look, very
nice
similar. It's a nice touch indeed. So anyways, speaking of nice touches here, Fabio Mendes hasn't had a foot wrong in this race so far. Final 3 laps. He's only had 2.5 laps to go. And now looking at the rest of the field, who's going to try to pit once again.
He's going to pit.
Oh, there's contact between Shazan Reza and his brother, Shakib Reza, once they get out of the pit lane. And now Shazan Reza is going to try to get himself back against his own brother. And now Shazan Reza is looking to consolidate 17th place. What a messy race this has been.
There's going to be some explaining to do that after the race. Some explaining has got to be done.
Again, Shazan Reza has to be involved in a pit lane exit collision with another driver, but this time involving his brother. Now that's gonna be pretty crazy. But right now, Shazan Reza doesn't need to think about pitting anymore. He just needs to complete these next few laps to seal this race. And you can see here, Rod and Oryx trade positions. Grand also trading a few positions. And you can see.
Dividing them.
But actually, Paulie manages to get close, but not close enough to Riba, as Riba manages to hang on to 15. As we're expecting more pit lane activity here, Takaboshi has just got out of the pit lane. Daham has just gone out of the pit lane. Aram Mazzi You can see here Farah Kamal is actually being stuck behind Brendan McCauley, and that's going to cause a lot of problems here when it comes to trying to overtake. As you can see here, Shadar Reza also getting close to Sean Pauly. He's going to overtake a lot of drivers in the final laps.
Oh, he's got Pauly. He's now heading to rebound.
Oh, there was a bit of contact between some of the drivers here because some of the drivers are coming to a stop. Will there be a crazy issue coming into pit lane entry and exit here? Shutters is looking to continue. Sean Pauly wants to go to pits. There was been contact. Crazy stuff here for all of these drivers.
Hitting, Pauly, hitting, rebound, hitting.
Everyone's pitting on the penultimate lap of this race, as it seems, or rather they're pitting on lap 25 because a lot of these drivers are actually a lap down over Corey Rico Mendez. We just wanted to take a look into the GAP's timing tower. Just wanted to show you who's actually the first drivers a lap down. And now Shadar Reza gets back up into 6th place. Corey Rico Mendez has left everyone comfortably except 4 drivers: Aaron Mazzi, Nasir Daham, Keiko Takaboshi, and Fawaz Mori.
Now this seems to be the ending grid, so yeah, bad call from Manny to pit now.
But anyways, we're looking to see another bit of a kerfuffle here between Brendan McCauley. Brendan McCauley is actually holding up Farah Kamal and Perez, and as you can see here, Oryx actually managed to overtake Farah Kamal. You can see here more battles coming in. And looking into the current field of drivers who managed to have a very good pit stop. Some are having a very good pit stop, some are having a very good pit stop. And one of the drivers who already have a good pit stop cycle at the end is Kaminari Riba, who have now jumped himself inside the top 10. What good
from
stuff
16 to 10th. Instead, Pauly and Richie, the one which he was fighting, they're now 13 and 15. They're back.
As we can see here, Corey Rico Mendez in this sunset here in Murata Miyagi in Sportsland SUGO. Corey Rico Mendez is going to lead the final lap of the weekend. He's going to lead the final lap of this Nightfall race. As we're about to get into Nightfall ourselves, you can see here the sun is absolutely setting. Corey Rico Mendez has had this race in the bag, under control. For KFP, for Takanashi Kiara, I think it looks to me that KFP have found a very good employee to represent in the ARO. And Shadar Reza having to pit again.
Yeah, I told you what would have happened.
It happened.
If I had saving, he would have gotten it with it, but...
And now looking into Lance Oryx, who has the final corner to contend with. But before that, he has to deal with the chicane. I think Shadar Reza might just be able to defend 6th place because obviously Shadar Reza has yet to pit. Oryx has yet to pit. Looks like Shadar Reza is able to defend 6th place.
He's gonna come out comfortably though.
He's gonna be comfortable in 6th place, correct? And as you can see here, more side-by-side battles on the final lap here. And now we're gonna focus on Corey Rico Mendez. Corey Rico
with him and just see what he's been doing right this whole time.
Yes, Reba. So anyways, Corey Rico Mendez, since his introduction in the ARO in the Sepang Grand Prix, he has been absolutely amazing. He has swept in his first 3 appearances. He's looking to score IEN class wins for all 3 of his starts so far, but he has not won overall yet until today, because right now Corey Rico Mendez is exiting in the final corner to take the checkered flag, to take the big W of the Sportsland SUGO. He wins the Splash Party KartX at SUGO Nightfall Edition.
With a whopping 1 minute and 30 of gap, he manages to bring it all.
And looking into the rest of the field, Shadar Reza will be the first driver to cross the line after him. He will finish this race, I believe, on the lead lap. Just wanted to check back on the situations here. No, Shadar Reza actually finishes 1 lap down. And looking into the rest of the field, there's a lot of drivers who have yet to cross the line. In particular, we have Lance Oryx in 7th place, who will have this race in the bag as well. Brendan McCauley jumps up to 33rd after all this chaos. Moretz currently in 34th, and Tanarao is currently in 35th. And now Kaminari Riba has actually stolen a few more positions there because he's overtaken Farah Kamal and Miyamoto in one fell swoop. Riba has now jumped up to 8th. Meanwhile, we are seeing another battle between Ishikawa the third and Richie on the final lap. Oh, you can see here Richie goes off
Richie
wide.
But
And-
it's fine, it's still going.
And
He's gonna try to pull a move down the inside, which he gets as Ishikawa goes wide. And he's gonna keep the position here in this variation.
And we're looking at Reza, who has officially crossed the line, and you can see here even more battle here. Kaczynski might steal a few more positions. Some others want to steal a few more positions here. It could be a photo finish down the line for some. Lance Oryx finishes 7th, McConnelly 33rd, Anita Perez 34th, Riba finishes in an amazing 8th, Farkamal 9th, Miyamoto 10th, Clark 11th, Falls Mori finishes 7th, 2nd, Strompoli 12th, Richie 13th, and across the line, Ishikawa the 3rd beats Shaki Reza for 14th. And you can see Michael Turner 16th, Rod 17th, Takaboshi finishes on the podium, Kaczynski in 18th, Croatia 19th, Wimberley 20th, Grant 21st, Nasser Dahan finishes 4th, Menace 22nd, Lucien 23rd, Gibbons 24th, and Tannerov finishes 35th after a late race pit stop mishap. Suharto 25th, Surikayama 26th, Cashew 27th, Mazzi 5th, Goyena 28th, Olgor 29th, Reliu in 30th. Just wanted to check back. And Jack Champagne 31st, Ed Sky again last place, Volativ 32nd, and that will be it for everyone here, as everyone should be able to finish this race in such fashion. So anyways, with this race done and dusted, let's take a look into the end of this race. We are looking into quite the race results here. So anyways, let's take a look into the race results here. Corey Rico Mendes wins for Takanashi Kiara overall for the first time in his career. For the first time in 3 starts, he has win overall in addition to his 3 EN class wins in a row. He has been very amazing so far. Let's see what he can do in the Formula Hall International. Falls Mori finishes 2nd for Hoshinova Muna. He takes the EN class win for Muna. Kikada Takaboshi finishes 3rd for Crazy Oli. And then we have Nasser Daham 4th for Sarah's Fauna. And then we have Aramazzi finishing 5th for Iris. Mohamed Shadid Reza finishes 6th. Best JP class car of the day for Himamori Luna. Lance Oryx finishes 7th for Anya Melfisa. Kaminari Reba with an amazing final pit stop run and amazing final few laps for him to jump up from, like you mentioned, 16th to 8th for Omaru Polka. Putrifara Kamal.
Gotta bring.
Yeah, good to know that. Putrifara Kamal for Pavole Arena finishes 9th, and Makoto Miyamoto rounds out the top 10 with her finish for Tsunamaki Watame. And Jeff Clark finishes 11th despite starting on the front row. He finishes 11th for Nakiri Ayame. Sean Pauly finishes 12th for Inagami Korone. And looking Lorenzo Ricci, who ends up finishing 13th after being Bon Ishikawa the 3rd across the line. Not exactly across the line there. He did finish 13th for Hosho Marine. Ishikawa the 3rd finishes 14th for Oro Crony. Shaki Reza was beaten by Ishikawa the 3rd across the line in a photo finish, representing Momosuzu Nene. Michael Turner, Richie Rod finishes 16th and 17th. They are still inseparable, representing both Shirogane Noel and Shirakami Fubuki. And then Raiji Kazuki, Robert Kurisha, and Zeke Wimberley running up 18th, 19th, and 20th. They represent Yuzuki Choko, Takane Louis, and Robert and Okami Miyo respectively. Alex Grant finishes 21st for Yukihana Lamy. Fabi Mendes finishes 22nd for Hakui Koyori. Maverick Ducian 23rd for Shishiro Botan. Callan Gibbons doesn't have that zing right now. He finishes 24th for Roboco. Juan Sarto finishes 25th for Shiranui Flare. Suri Kaima finishes 26th for Lapis Darkness. Mama Cashew, again, pretty decent run for him, but not good enough for him. He finishes 27th in the Mori Calliope ride. Daniel Goyena finishes 28th for Usada Pecora, as Rim Olgor finishes 29th for Ozora Sparu. Ryu finishes 30th for Okami Mio. Zach Champagne 31st for Amane Kanata. Daniel Bolata 32nd for Tokemi Toa. And then we have the last few drivers on the grid. Brendan McCauley finishes 33rd for Gargura. And then Anita Perez finishes 34th for Hakos Bale. After they had a mishap in the pit lane. Alcer and Terra had his issues in the pit lane come the end of this race in 35th, which doesn't say much. And that Sky again finishes last for Kazama Iroha. So Reba, we're gonna get into the replay section here. I want to hear your thoughts before we are about to get into the replay section.
It was an amazing race. Sad for the few crashes that costed those few drivers their race,
But overall, it was a good race. This display of dominance of both Sharon Reza and Mendes, it was a sight to see. And the battling was there. It was everybody was pushing it to the limit. It was just amazing to see.
So anyways, if you want to know what happened to Anita Perez and Brandon McConley, this is why. Anita Perez does not want to pit. McConley wants to pit. They're actually fighting between who is going to come out, who's going to be pitting. No one is conceding. No one is willing to give up. And you can see here. Oh, you can see here.
Oh. Nasty crash, but
a nasty crash indeed. You can see here. Let's go on board Brandon McConley and see what. Let's see his point of view. And you can see here, exiting the pit lane. You can see here McConley and Perez. And as you can see here, they're still fighting. You can see here McConley gets spun out. Crazy stuff happening in the pit lane. But that's not the only big incident that has happened, because we also want to take a look into Shazan Reza as to what happened to him. Especially what happened in pit exit. This is what happened to Shazan Reza. He actually gets out and gets a massive collision between his brother. But fortunately, he doesn't manage to stop for one. Yeah, the Candy Princess got damaged, and from his brother no less. So a bit of a messy stuff happening. So let's go on board Shazan Reza to see the onboard crash in detail, because it gets pretty crazy.
That's a big hit. I'm glad that both are fine after that.
So yeah, it's a nice thing to see all of these drivers managing to continue just like that. But meanwhile, we also want to take a look into some of the other drivers that have some issues. Let's talk about Antanarao in particular. You can see here, this is the same issue. Got drivers
same
who.
Fashion, yes.
So just wanted to check back. Here's Antanarao. Oh yeah, Antanarao wants to go to the pits. Fabio Mendes doesn't want to go to the pits. They were side by side. There's actually both that happened. There was Duciem and Bolatev. And you can see here, Duciem and Bolatev actually managed to get away pretty safely. But unlike Bolatev and Duciem, Mendes and Antanarao, they actually made contact between each other. And that resulted in Antanarao's lowly 35th place finish. Not exactly the finish Antanarao was looking for, but I mean, it happens from time to time. But let's go into Antanarao's onboard to see what has happened. So you can see here, Fabio Mendes. Oh, really battling side by side. Fabio Mendes really wants to stay out on track. Antanarao really wants to pit. They both make contact. Oh, it gets very nasty there for Antanarao. Massive hit.
Very, very nasty.
Anyways, here's Antanarao's onboard. Oh! And that basically sums up the entire race. So with that out of the way, we're just going to basically wrap up this event with just one more thing that we need to show you. The Splash Party night live stream is still on. 8 p.m. Japanese time. Hopefully everyone is able to tune in. Hopefully Zan does not have their problems with their live stream. And hopefully if everyone is able to tune in to the live stream, basically the live stream, the Splash Party night version of the live stream, you can scan the QR code on the top right of your screen to access the Zan website for you to buy your tickets. Hopefully everyone is able to buy the tickets as well. So anyways, with that out of the way, that should be it for this weekend.
And for those who don't want to look at the clock, it's gonna be in just around 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So in about 2.5 hours, we will be seeing, you will be able to see the Splash Party night performance, the live concert coming up. So hopefully everyone is able, if you are able to pay and tune in, you should be able to do so. So anyways, with that out of the way, that we can end the stream here. We hope everyone here has enjoyed a very amazing weekend here at SUGO. It's the Splash Party KartX race at SUGO. Both the Daybreak and Nightfall editions have seen amazing racing, and I hope everyone here has enjoyed it too. My name is Muhammad Shahin Reza, and alongside me is Kamina Reba, and you've been watching an ARO special event here in Sportsland SUGO. We'll hope everyone has enjoyed their moments, and yeah, like you mentioned, see you next 2 weeks as we head to Buriram for the first knockout races of the Formula Hololive and the Hololive GT3 seasons.
I'd like to add, thank you for the occasion. Thank you for having me as a commentator, and yes, hopefully this this fantastic season keeps going.